I did not start living properly until I was 42 years old because I'm an ENTP. I still act like I'm 14.
Talking with famous people.
You find it harder to learn stuff, which is true.
Things have gotten super easier to learn, in my personal experience.
Really?
Yeah.
How come babies can learn entire languages in a few years, whereas it takes a lot longer to learn?
Well, let's talk about kinds of learning.
Well, there's different learning, but it still all gets worse, doesn't it?
So, for example, that's true, but if you learn 5 or 6 different languages, each one becomes easier and easier to learn because you're not just learning the language, you're learning how to learn languages. Okay?
Yeah.
When you're born, you have a fundamental biological grammar installed, which says, I'm looking to find subjects, objects, and verbs. It does that, and it fills that in because it's meant to do that at that point in your life. It's meant to do specifically that. You become your languages as you gain fluency in them. So gaining fluency in actual speaking language is not indicative really of an improved ability to learn so much as it is a child at a young stage is designed to
Learn.
become their various become their languages.
That's because it has a cumulative effect. If you find it easier to learn other languages because you're building upon previous knowledge. But your ability to learn in general is decreased.
Audra,
your brain doesn't produce as many brain cells as it used to, like neuro connections, neuro pathways. It just doesn't happen. That's just fact.
Between different things here.
It sounds like what you're describing is more memorization than what I think probably me and Eric would consider learning, because it's about understanding, not ability or just like storing something. And so the more you understand, the easier everything else is to understand, and therefore the easier it is to learn.
But your ability to memorize information and data is decreased. That is just undeniable.
Like no memory.
I just read a study.
Well, read the
facts. The brain starts to decline. The cognitive decline. There's little evidence that proves that cognitive decline happened before the age of 60. I can send you the article.
Jacob, I've got another article that says memory loss starts as early as 30.
Listen, SI thinking is what you're talking about. What they do is they learn by referring always backwards to things that have worked before, and they're trying to make something that's worked before once into something that becomes something reliable. That they know how to do that, and they work that angle every time. Okay? And they build this set of angles towards life that they can rely on. They've done before many times. They know it. They got it. Boom. That's SI thinking, and that does start to decline fairly early, and they get into ruts, and they get locked in. They get very worrisome and stuff like that, and all that kind of shit. The opposite of that is NE thinking. What we do is we take things that you think are solid, that you think you know and understand and you can rely on because you've learned them, and we tear them to fucking pieces. You sit there and you go, oh shit, I thought I understood something. Instead, I'm standing amongst the shards of my own identity. That's the difference between what you guys do and what we do.
But I'm an NI thinker as well. So I'm just telling you a fact. I'm not giving a judgment. I'm giving you a fact. Your memory gets worse as you get older. That is just a fact.
I'm not disputing your memory point. I never have.
That's the only point I made.
Point, which you've shifted from without acknowledging, is that you were talking about learning.
Yeah, memory is involved with learning. There's one aspect of it.
That's true.
Learning and memory and understanding are two separate things. Your understanding might get better, but your memory...
What about the ADHD brain? Doesn't it develop differently than a regular brain?
Maybe.
Yeah, but if you're good at, like, if you're used to not remembering, so what we're good at is coming up with, figuring it out even with an imperfect recall.
Eric, doesn't weed make your memory even worse than it normally is? That's not going to be helping your memory. I can't remember a thing after I start smoking for a week or so. Well, I can't remember shit. I forget. I can't even find my keys.
Well, first of all, I had this good fortune, which is I raised an ENTP daughter, and she was just like me before she ever smoked any weed, and she still doesn't smoke weed regularly at all. and she's still just like me. Same forgetfulness, same losing shit. Additionally, I'd say I know for a fact I've become vastly more intellectually powerful over the course of the last 5-10 years, and I'm smoking weed every day. I don't find myself particularly more forgetful. I've always been forgetful. But the main reason I'm forgetful is because I am processing so many ideas all the time. That's why I'm forgetful. It's not because I have bad memory. It's because I'm attending to it not at all.
Then you've got an unrestricted reservoir of ideas that keep turning. That's why. Why don't you hone it down to less ideas but more depth and more understanding of a few ideas rather than...
You misunderstand the power of the ENTP brain. We don't lack depth.
So you can do lots of different shit all in great depth.
It takes a long time to get there because you have to establish a lot of links. That's why we're so slow developing.
Right.
Well,
I would admit you got more knowledge on the MBTI.
You have a perfectly cogent answer for everything? Am I lacking in depth?
No, but the way you articulate stuff says a lot about whether you actually understand it or not.
No, it doesn't, actually,
Yes,
sir. The fact that you think it does is indicative, again, of a deep wrongness within your heart. No. If you can't explain it simply for people to understand, then you don't understand it enough yourself. Albert said that. Your lack of understanding of this circumstance, sir, is not a problem of my explanation. I'm an extraordinarily effective educator who has won national championships teaching middle schoolers to argue better than you currently are arguing.
Yeah, but I'm not properly arguing. I'm eating a fucking Indian. And I'm not
at this point, you're being
invested in that.
and snotty is what you're being.
I'm just challenging you.
No, you're not. You're not challenging me at all.
All right. Okay. I think I am, but yeah. If you can't explain something simply, then you don't know it well enough.
I just dispatched with that point. You're not responding to it. I can teach middle schoolers all this shit. Why can't you understand it?
So you can explain it simply. There we go. So you prove my point. If what you say is true.
Did I explain it simply?
Fairly.
Okay. That wasn't an explanation, though.
You did.
Remember, do you want depth too? Or do you want simple or depth? What do you want?
No, you can do both.
I can be both simple and deep.
That just requires an incredible
how
understanding.
How much explanation should it require to explain
atomic theory?
Yeah. I mean, should I just be able, how much understanding do you have to have before you actually understand it deeply?
A lot. Like PhD level, doctorate level, something like that.
Okay, so then if I were to explain that simply and clearly, would I really have explained it?
In depth, no.
Okay, so I would have given you a shallow explanation.
No, you can give... It's like being efficient with your words. So the words that you do say count for a lot more than rather saying paragraphs and paragraphs. It's like saying a picture paints 1,000 words. That's what I mean, but without the picture bit. The way you say it.
So far, you painted a lot of words about what's wrong with me and what I'm doing inadequately, or how my cognition or expression is inadequate, sir. And yet,
no.
And yet, each of those reasons I have dispatched with you have simply moved on to a new one. Did you know that?
It's like fencing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It is a little bit. You're like parrying. You're parrying.
I mean, I'm swatting. You're just wasting my time. Audra, any thoughts on this exchange? What does it display to you about the superiority of NTP thinking?
There's just nothing to grab onto at the moment. It's just so
hard when there's nothing
reductive and limiting. And
it is. And boring.
I don't think she's talking about what I'm doing to you.
No, I'm talking about Osiris. I'm talking about your whole theory. You're basically
it's
like
not
you
hard.
can't.
It's a very simple theory.
It is very simple. It's very limited.
Osiris, she didn't say she didn't understand.
I didn't say I didn't understand. I said do not agree with, and I find it limiting and generally not useful.
I agree.
That your theory is generally not useful?
Yeah.
Okay,
Then what is it?
fine.
Fine.
I'm just showing you I can sort of troll on mic as well as on the chat, because I'm just
But
yeah,
that's
just making that point.
totally what you're
That's
doing.
the what I'm not. I'm not.
It's
I
just
know. I'm,
displaying a lack of ability. Stumbling because you don't know how to walk is not acting like somebody who's drunk.
no, I wasn't saying I was told. I'm just saying like I don't know. I don't really know.
So this is just I feel like this needs to be, I just want to say this. So this is like in comments, chat and everything. This is what my dad always said. And he's an ENTP, and he's ridiculously good at tons of things. But anyway, it's basically jack of all, ENTP is a jack of all trades and a master of most of them.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Not jack of all trades, master of all.
Jack of all trades, master of most of them.
That's like saying you could be an atomic scientist, a world-class musician, a super detective, and a fucking sailor.
Yep.
Why not?
Only us.
And a marine. I doubt that.
You doubt that.
I doubt that. I don't think you could be all those things.
Well,
show me somebody that is all of those things. Specialization is the only way you can properly master something.
Specialization is garbage.
No, it's not. It's the only way you can
Some
master.
people get specialized.
Footballers are not
and that's the
footballers
only
because
way.
footballers are not footballers because they've gone on photography courses and learned to take pictures or learn science. They are footballers because that's all they fucking do. Half of the stuff that you've said is a bit primitive.
What's primitive about what I
In
said?
terms of, you were saying, you have set right a statement, the Middle East is all barbaric, whereas actually it's about 0.1% of the entire population
Is what?
is a problem, is terrorists.
What kind of problem?
Terrorists.
I never made any claim about them being terrorists. Never.
What do you mean?
I never made any claim about Muslims being terrorists. Fucking moron.
Well, then you're wrong then, because they are.
Okay, well, a few of them.
They are.
I'm not worried about
A
that.
lot of them. And their entire culture is backward, primitive, and fucked up.
Well, listen, you can think whatever you want, but if you're just going to troll like that,
No.
boot your ass.
No. What? I'm having a discussion with you.
No, you change your position. Right?
You're just censoring me. Social justice warrior.
Pick a side, bitch.
What do you want me to do? Agree
Too
with you?
weak? Too weak? Are you too weak? Can you pick a side or no?
What do you mean? What do you want me to pick a side on?
Are you too weak to actually pick a side and argue it?
For what?
Pick a side, bitch.
For what?
What's going on?
Come on, you weak ass little bitch.
Terrorists.
Hey, pussy. Pick a side, pussy. What's wrong with you? Are you okay?
No, you make me fucking cry. I'm hurt.
You think Eric just kicked him?
I don't see why you would.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What? Mm.
Yeah, he kind of devolved to trolling.
Yeah, like the last part, I don't know. Like
That was
the
the first interaction of ENTJ versus ENTP that I've seen. So interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I've been kind of waiting for something like that to come out with Osiris because he's like such a thinks he knows it all.
I still don't agree with the block though. I think Eric should have let him give him some space just to try to explain himself.
How much of my time was he wasting? If
Well,
he's
he already
able to
kind
do
of
that,
been
if he's willing to do that, if he goes, here's my position on Islam, Eric, that you're too extreme on it. And then when I start swatting his ass around, he goes, no, now you're too soft on Islam, Eric. If he wants to play that game, then everything he says doesn't matter, right? He's not actually taking a side. He's not actually arguing a position. He's just being contrary for the sake of being contrary. That's wasting everyone's time, especially mine. And
he was
fuck
being
that.
a retard earlier once he got the crown and all that garbage.
Yeah, he went from bitch to cunt is what happened. Put it quite simply, he went from bitch to cunt. If you're a little bitch, you can get kicked eventually for being a little bitch. If you're a cunt, though, you get blocked.
Yeah, he got blocked, Susan.
He became one as soon as he went 180 on me. He became a cunt, and that's not going to happen.
Talking with famous people.
And this is going. I'm going to cut this shit. I'm putting it up there. It's going to be, the video is going to be titled "ENTP blocks ENTJ when ENTJ bitch becomes cunt."
I would watch that.